Hey everyone! How are you today? Or tonight, should I say. Today I wanted to do a nighttime routine and specifically focus on how I layer a few different actives, including niacinamide and tretinoin and azelaic acid. And I'm actually going to be applying my custom-made niacinamide moisturizer that I concocted in one of my videos where I recreated the CeraVe PM, so this is also kind of a follow-up for that. Throughout this video, you might think of Dr. Dre for a lot of these things. Well, she's the first dermatologist YouTuber that I found when I was trying to figure out how to fix my skin last year, and so a lot of the principles that she teaches will be woven throughout this video because I learned so much from her. I feel like I'm not as cautious as her when it comes to things like I apply tretinoin around my eyes. That's another thing people requested me showing. I also apply Adapalene to my neck, so I'm going to show you how I do that as well. I'm wearing a silicone patch on my neck right now. I first heard about these from Dr. Dre when she was promoting the CO line of silicone patches, and so I was really interested in it, particularly for the neck, because I have what has been colloquially coined tech neck, where people kind of prematurely develop lines on their neck from staring down at devices. So it's actually something I'm still testing out, so I'm not going to say that it's done wonders for the lines that I've noticed on my neck, but it is just a much cheaper alternative to the CO patches. These were significantly less, and I just really don't like spending money for a brand name if I can get the exact same thing in an off-brand. So the first thing I'm going to do is, of course, check that I pushed record. I did. Next, I'm going to wash my hands. Now I'm going to remove this silicone patch so I can start my skincare routine. So just want to make sure you're not yanking it off and pulling it off of your skin. And then every once in a while you want to rinse it off. I probably will do that today. Rinse it off, let it dry, and then you can adhere it back to its little plastic sheet. So I'm going to go in with an oil cleanser. I always double cleanse. I wear a lot of sunscreen throughout the day. Sometimes it's water resistant. I highly recommend using an oil-based cleanser for your first step if you wear water resistant sunscreen especially, but even if you don't, it's a good way to work up that dirt and grime from the day. I use this oil cleanser from KOSE Cosmoport. It's called the SOFTYMO. It's basically just mineral oil with some mild surfactants and emulsifiers that help it wash off. I don't think that you need to buy a cosmetic oil cleanser per se. I used to just use jojoba oil, and that works as well. I just wanted to test to see if something formulated to wash off would be better, and based on my experiments, as long as you're going in with a second cleanse, like a water-based cleanser, it doesn't really seem to matter that much. But anyway, I have to finish this up. So I just get some, and then, I cleanse. And sometimes when I'm wearing an extra amount of sunscreen, it sort of starts to pill up, which is kind of satisfying. I know some people enjoy that sensation, so yeah, I try to take my time, especially with the first cleanse, because it's kind of relaxing as well, to do a light facial massage, but I don't think you really necessarily need to take that long. You'll see when I go in, I'm going to actually just go into my shower and do this how I normally would, but for my water cleanser, people say 60-second rule. I think that, it depends on how much makeup you're wearing or sunscreen. How long you need to cleanse depends on what you have on your face, right? So for some people, it might mean they need to cleanse for a minute, but for other people, maybe they didn't wear any water-resistant sunscreen that day. They just used regular sunscreen and they only need 20 seconds. You get it. I'm gonna do my neck as well with a little bit more of the oil cleanser. Also make sure to get my ears, because I do apply sunscreen to my ears every day as well. Pretty much good. So I'm gonna turn on the shower and then jump in there. So I'll emulsify the oil cleanser first and then go in with my water-based cleanser. Today I'm going to use the Isntree Sensitive Balancing Bubble Foam. This was a gift, I guess, from Stylovana. They sent it to me for a review, and so I did a review of K-Beauty cleansers. This was one of them, and it's one of my favorite ones that I tried. It's a foam cleanser. So by the way, everything I'm using is going to be linked in the description, and for anything Stylovana related, I do have a promo code for 10 to 15% off for you. Right, I'm going to do the shower. Okay, let me step out of here. Otherwise it might be too echoey in there. Anyway, hope this works. So usually when I'm still in the shower, I'll apply my moisturizer, including my face moisturizer. No, this is not Adapalene UV gel. This is my personal concoction, which is pretty much a dupe for the CeraVe PM, but a thicker version. So this has 4% niacinamide per my calculations. And so I get a dab, and I've been using this every night since I created it. Like, maybe it's been 1.5 months or so. It's a good moisturizer, I don't know. Niacinamide, it doesn't work overnight, and I've obviously been using other actives as well, but no adverse effects, that's for sure. So anyway, while my skin's still damp, I like to go in with my moisturizer. I don't towel off at all anymore. Towels can harbor lots of bacteria and also are just like accelerating the drying process, which you don't really want, especially if you have dry skin like me. So while my skin's still damp, that's also when actives will work the best, like niacinamide. I go in with this moisturizer, hold on to some of that water, and yeah, you get it. So I just kind of massage it around, and you don't really need a whole lot, especially when your skin's damp. A little goes a long way, even though I kind of grabbed a little bit more than I probably needed today because I was distracted. Bring it down to your neck, of course. My neck, I mean. Very good. And so like I said, I don't towel dry my body even. I just let it kind of air dry on its own. To slow down that process, of course, I go in with the moisturizer. I've been loving this Cetaphil moisturizing cream. It's for very dry, sensitive skin. There's no hyaluronic acid in this. It's just like glycerin and some fatty alcohols, as well as petrolatum to really seal the deal. Yeah, it's like a thicker cream than the CeraVe moisturizing cream, which I love. I feel like it's a good cream for the winter if you live in a low humidity area where it gets cold. It just stopped recording out of nowhere, and I was saying really unimportant things, so that's fine. My face is dried, so I'm going to use my Azelaic Acid. I use this Melazepam solution, which is some off-brand thing that people use, and it's a 20% Azelaic Acid solution that you can purchase without a prescription, which is pretty nice. So I use this every day. Sometimes I use it twice a day, but I'll only apply it like all over my face once a day. And then if I use it any other times, it's to deal with a breakout. Of course, azelaic acid is an antibacterial ingredient that's naturally produced by a yeast on our skin. So low risk of irritation. Takes some time to adjust though. I have a video on it, you can watch it. So I just apply a line of it and I apply it all over. I recently had a breakout for the first time in a couple months right here, and it was just kind of a weird one, but it seems like more of a blackhead. So anyway, I definitely get post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation and it sticks around for months and months. So that's what I primarily use azelaic acid for, but it's also just preventative. Of course, I have a thin layer of moisturizer underneath it, which kind of creates a buffer to really Sort of prevents over irritating my skin. It's always a good idea, especially if you're like newly starting an active, but I've been using this for almost 3 months now. Well, 2.5 months, the Azelaic Acid. So I'm just gonna go in with my Tretinoin now. Oh, looks like we're out of this Retin-A. Okay, I'm opening up a fresh Retin-A cream, which this was this was prescribed by a doctor, and she just gave me like 4 refills on it, and I don't even see her anymore, but she's prescribed it that way. Let me know if you have a good dermatologist. I had some qualms with the one I went to. I went to out of necessity for a treatment, and anyway, I don't need to get into it. I don't know if other Tretinoin creams like come like this, but you have to puncture it with the cap turned the opposite way. I just squeeze you don't need a lot, and it's just like a pea-sized amount. And here's what I do. I dab, and I try to do even dabs on either side of my face. Focusing on those areas that are less irritation prone, and then taking the residual Tretinoin and just kind of like dabbing it around my eyes. And I have a little bit left, so I take that and I start at the top of my lids near my eyebrows, and then just kind of pat that down on my eyelids. So it's really a small amount that I'm using on my eyelids. You don't need a lot, and even just like having that residual amount does actually have an impact. And so then I will dab it on my under eyes and up towards my corners, temples, and then I'll start, this is kind of hard because I don't have a mirror, so if that wasn't even, that's why. And I don't even remember if I got it on my nose. I think that I maybe had it a little too little there. I'm just gonna get a little bit more because that wasn't enough. So I also gotta do my nose. So now I have a little bit left, so I don't feel like I had a lot on my cheek. I'm just gonna bring that down here again. Then I'm gonna rub into my nose. Some people like pat, I guess, but you have to rub it in the opposite direction of the way that the hair on your face grows for optimal penetration. But overall, it doesn't really matter. If you pat it, it'll probably work. If you rub it, it'll probably work. I've always been the type to just rub it in. I actually, like, when I'm doing this, I get nervous. I'm like, am I doing this the right way? Am I doing this the way I normally do, or am I distracted and not doing it the right way? You know what I mean? Even after it's like virtually left my fingers, you know, it's still like there. So don't underestimate what a little bit of Tretinoin can do. I think I said that I was gonna put it on my neck today, and I am, but not Tretinoin. So I've been using Adapalene, Differin, an over-the-counter 0.1%. This is also a retinoid that used to be prescription. So it's retinoic acid. It's in its active form, ready to work for you. And I just put this on my neck. So I do another small amount. And the good thing about Differin is that it's just much less likely to irritate. The 0.1% has been compared to a 0.025% Tretinoin, in case you want something to compare it to, but I don't know how much that's true. I think also just like this gel vehicle tends to be less irritating to people, so I dab it similarly to the way that I do on my face. I'm not extremely precise with it, to be honest. And then I just rub that in, and there's not a lot, so it is kind of not as smooth. Some people, you could just stop right here, you put your Tretinoin on, you're done. But I am gonna go in with the Cetaphil cream again and do a layer all over my face and neck. I just like to go in and make sure I have adequate moisture, especially for the night where I'm just gonna be, asleep for like 8 hours, hopefully, if I don't have insomnia and wake up at 3 a.m. and start scrolling through my newsfeed and panicking about the state of the world. This provides that, and I really like that this cream, I just like wake up and I can feel that my skin is kind of, it's not damp because that's gross, but it's like dewy. Okay, it's dewy in the morning after I've applied this cream at the end of my routine. So if there are any places that were missed with the Adapalene, it'll kind of work that Adapalene around. If there's any place missed with the Tretinoin, it'll work the Tretinoin around. That's my theory, at least. People who are really paranoid about layering and stuff, it's like, I just don't worry about that. There's a difference between layering and mixing skincare, so layering is like much less of a risk, and I don't worry about it. Unless, of course, it's like using benzoyl peroxide, which is just incompatible with things like Tretinoin. I've more recently been taking nights off from Tretinoin, like I said, because my skin's so dry. I like to just break it up a little bit to see if maybe I can bring back some of that oil production. But in terms of the niacinamide, like I said, I wear that every single night, and I have been for the last couple months. The azelaic acid is every single day. For lips, I've actually just been using a little bit of the Cetaphil and just putting that on my lips. And I found that that has been sufficient for my lips to feel really smooth. I hope you got something out of this. I know it's been a long time coming, and I hope if you're new or you have not yet that you consider subscribing to my channel where I do skincare content. I apply a critical lens to all of my reviews, and I love sunscreen. So definitely hope you consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. Give the video a thumbs up as well, and thank you for watching.